I
Oh,
don't know what it just
oh,
didn't look right.
perfect. Okay, I think we got it. Let me do the
Yeah, it
phone.
says it's being live streamed, and I see a little YouTube icon.
Ooh, we're getting better at this. Look at us. We're fancy people.
Yay. Oh, do I need my hat? Should I put my hat on?
I didn't hat it up today. Ooh, okay. Yep.
I have my hat over here.
I didn't hat it up today. I gave up all hopes on my hair today because we're grateful because that's the theme of tonight. So I'm just going to
That's
be
right.
grateful.
I was gonna say that, and I have my little cute updo, and I can't put a hat on top of an updo. It
Never.
I
It
usually get
just
too
don't.
warm with it on after a while. I always, like I said, I have, and then I have
Today is
like,
not a say something cat day. Oops.
okay, all right, we
Taryn, you're
are
going to get a bunch
live.
of text messages. They're all from me. Ignore your phone.
We are
Okay.
live. Hello,
Hi,
hello,
people.
Crossroads, which is another interesting magical beings. It is so good to be back. I am actually starting to really enjoy doing these monthly lives and,
And that's a feat. Okay.
getting,
I had to pull tooth and nail to get her to go live. So the fact that she just said that, I just want to take a round of applause, if I may.
yes, trying to get an introvert to enjoy public speaking. Miracles do happen.
They do. Okay. I posted it. Go ahead.
I still, the just the concept of it out there just sort of boggles my mind sometimes. I start overthinking it and everything, and
Overthinking us? Never.
and that's all the stuff that I talk about on the channel of don't do this. It's not because I read it somewhere. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm just sort of writing down, okay, I did this one time, and let me tell you what happened. Uh, and that 40 years of being messy, being sloppy, making mistakes, and always staying in that state of wonderment. I mean, because magic, witchcraft is a lifelong journey of a student. We don't actually have a destination. All right. Whether you're in a tradition or you're solitaire, we're still always, the new stuff is coming out. It's like, science is always discovering new things, a way to relate to the world around us. Our
Mhm.
knowledge isn't static.
Mhm.
And sometimes that, sort of makes it difficult when, especially these new folk, you're like, what do you mean I have to keep learning? And it's like, no, it's the joy of the journey. It's the joy
Mhm.
of discovery.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
That's why we always hated you in the very beginning with love, I say to the YouTube people, because unless you've been in space with Taryn, you won't understand this. But the you do you boo comment. Every beginner witch, I want you to know, loves you with their whole heart, but also despises you every time you give that sentence until about 2.5 years go by. And then a newer witch comes in, and then that witch hears themselves say, but how does it make you feel? And I swear, every one of us black hats have had that moment where it's like, oh my God, I've become my mother, where, you just comes out and you're like the audacity, but it's also
right.
so unbelievably helpful and good and a lesson in trusting your intuition and trusting you and all that. But I think I forgot my topic because I literally saw red remembering that moment.
We have much gratitude for Taryn, but at the same time, she is wise old witch and she knows things. And when you ask her, but what does this mean? And she says, what does it mean to you? You're like, that's not the answer I was looking for.
I've learned if you get enough glasses of champagne in her, she'll eventually tell you.
Yeah,
That's
you have
that's
to ask, what is the history behind a certain
Ooh,
thing?
yeah.
I think that was the greatest thing that Papa Nico taught me
Mm-hmm.
was you have to learn how to ask. And on the other side of that, learning to really listen to what's being said to me. And like the people, each of you who've come up to me and said, Sharon, what does this mean? And me standing in space with you, and what's the best thing I can do to help you?
Mm-hmm.
is answer your question the way you're asking it to me. And like Tesserath said, if you come to ask me, hey, what's the history of this?
Right. You'll get it out of her. And that brings us
Versus
to
how should I use this magically versus can you use this on a full moon? All right,
Yeah, you have
you
to.
know,
I learned you have to ask Taryn either tell me some facts about this or how do you use this?
Oh,
you
last
But
know,
one
she won't
before
tell you how you
will
should use
express
it.
us into our topic of science and gratitude and about asking the right questions and be careful what you ask. I will never not shame Taryn for the time that I had to come up with a use for a cow's tongue in the middle of ritual because a new witch had the audacity to ask Taryn, hey, do you need me to bring anything for ritual tonight? And she said a cow's tongue and something about a rabbit's foot because I get a text from this man 2 hours before
but
ritual.
there was like a list of stuff.
Those were the two. He was
Yeah.
like, I got the cow's tongue, but I couldn't find the rabbit's foot. And I was like, sir, what do you mean? And that's when I found out he asked Taryn. And then I had to figure out what to do with the cow's tongue, which was still one of the coolest rituals we've ever done.
It was
So
fun.
the method to her madness
You
is
now the flip side, she likes to tell her traumatized story. All right. Girlfriends here wanting to get much more into the conjure realm, wanting to know about really working in spirit realm and what it takes if you're going to step into darker realms. We ended up using the tongue to do a working of stop talking about us, stop the gossip, stop the conflict,
nailed
and
nails into that tongue. It was good.
opened it up, put things in it, shut it up as she poured, nails went in it, words and energy was put into it, and then it was all wrapped up. It was a really good example of a conjure work. And when you're working within folk magic, we would see this particular working throughout the Appalachia, throughout the South. The way to stop gossip is with a cow's tongue. Different folks do different things. I've heard they put it up on a tree and put the nails into it. My attitude
Stop
is,
anyone from messing with you because if I walk up into a house,
I know, but I can't do it to the tree. What does the tree have to do with this?
it's a warning. You mess with me, you wag your tongue, happens. Now, a hood
Put a
needs
post up,
gangster
maybe.
recognizes gangster.
I'm just not sure. Maybe if you found a willing tree that was going to go along
I'm
with
for hanging
this.
it from a tree, but not nailing it to a tree.
But you want me to put
Yeah.
nails into, because I mean, there are several, especially, you get up in the northern part of the Appalachia, we find a much more working where they use nails, spikes, and things like that. And it's fascinating because it actually follows the railroad, which is off subject. We're going to talk about gratitude.
Yes.
And so,
Before we do, I just want to acknowledge all of our YouTubers who are joining us. We have someone joining us from Ottawa. I'm not going to pronounce this right. And I'm so sorry. Ottawa, Ottawa. I'm so sorry. Bad at that.
Ottawa.
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 You were right.
We got a couple house members in the chat saying, hey, talking about taking things to railroads. And then, of course, the most honorary mention goes to White Witch, who says that Tesseract has a very cute puppy. And that is the truest statement that we've got. So with that, we'll go ahead and switch ourselves. Yes. We always love to take a moment whenever we can to jump in and say hi to those in the comments because we'll see you. I have the comments running throughout the entire YouTube. So go ahead, put your comments in there. We'll get to them eventually, we promise. But yes, Taryn, tonight we are talking about the science of gratitude magic, which is one of my favorite topics.
I just full disclosure, read this really cool article, sent it to Dana because it just resonated with what we talk about, with how small acts of kindness we talk about within our own tradition, that, cookie magic is really powerful. And they used a crosswalk as an example. People who wave in crosswalks to acknowledge cars versus people who just rush by. And the different personalities, the different almost like emotional profiles. And, how this simple act of acknowledgement of when you're, walking in a crosswalk and the car slows down and stops, that you turn and wave, give a smile, a nod, whatever, But you acknowledge that you're coexisting with other people, whereas if you just rush by, don't look, and you treat it as a hostile environment.
Mm-hmm.
And that really resonated with me, with where we talk about our words, where we always say,
Right.
oh, this, I never get a chance to do this, this always happens to me, where we put it on ourselves. I've said it, you're cursing yourself. Don't worry about anybody else doing it. Have you listened to you talk to you lately?
Yep.
All
Well,
right.
and also I feel like we have and we will get into more of this during our 8 o'clock discussion on the Zoom. So we hope everyone joining, or everyone in our live can join us over there. But just to kind of touch a little bit, and we'll get more into it. But as magic practitioners, I feel like we have an even bigger responsibility than the
Oh,
mundane
yes.
or the muggle people with our words and being in a state of gratitude and manifestation and just being cautious because in
Right.
my opinion, the muggle mundane people, they're not connected yet in this life. They will get connected eventually, but they're just not connected yet. Whereas we are already connected and
You're just so hopeful.
Right. Gratitude. Tonight is gratitude. I'm grateful that it will happen one day. I'm hopeful. I don't know. But we got to be more cautious with it as magic folk, interesting magic beings, witches, whatever label you have. We have so much more power in this world. And that is a blessing. And like Tara was saying, a curse. You sit there saying every day, my life sucks. My life sucks. My life sucks. You are
Yeah, it's like
magically creating a sucky life.
one of the first things you learn in magic is thoughts are things. And so it's like, oh,
Thoughts
better
are
get some
things.
good thoughts. Like,
And I think a lot of times right now, many of us, those of us here in America, are living in very decisive times and feeling powerless. And we need to call the power back. And the best way to do that is through steps of gratitude. The house we've talked about the kindness, the dignity, the grace, when you're in the crossroads, when you're embracing both the dark and the light and learning to stand in a balanced way on all of it, the first place that you're coming from is a place of gratitude. It's I drop to my knees to learn that I've risen. Humility will get your ass a long way. All right.
Yep.
Yep. No, when I moved
Uh,
into my cute little apartment, my my big phrase that I used because I've been here almost 3 months now and very grateful for it, no pun intended. But that was almost my like mantra was I'm grateful. I had the opportunity to move with not a cent saved in my savings, not a plan set in my life, with a vague idea of what I needed to do and what was best for me. And Dana, if you don't know, is kind of a type A control freak. And it's so easy for me to get caught up in that. But it was one of those few moments where I let it go to the universe and knew that the universe would take care of me. And it did. And I created this mantra of like every single day I'd wake up, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. I may not have the most extravagant money to go out drinking on a Friday night with my gal friends, but I have a house with electricity and a full fridge and Netflix.
Right.
And wine in my cabinet that I can drink. So it was, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I had to spend a lot of money with this move, had to make a big adjustment, but it was the greatest thing to happen to me. And so I just forced myself. I wasn't going to be overtly stressed. I wasn't going to be paranoid. I wasn't going to be upset that I had to say no to my friends going out. Instead, I would say like this little, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. And I think that helps.
It really is hard because we live in a consumerism society, materialism constantly telling us, we need this.
Right.
And the constant comparisons, I was watching a thing on, there's like this whole syndrome going on that I was unaware of people trying to actually decorate in their houses like those carefully curated houses, TikTok, Pinterest,
Right. Yep.
and that they're comparing their house to these spaces.
Oh, Taryn, real fast, make me host again.
Oh, But
I'm
you
still
know,
co-host. I got the hand thing. You're good.
All right, but still give me host so that I can fix the things that may go wrong.
and so really,
But yes, getting out of that. Well, I'm to kind of go off of that and to keep on the state of gratitude, Taryn.
right.
I'm a TikTok witch and I've just moved into my beautiful first apartment by myself, living single for the first time, got out of a big relationship, all these things. And I love seeing all of the single girl TikToks because that's the space I'm at in my healing phase. But they're always showing these most extravagant apartments. And they're like, my first apartment without a man. And look at, and it's so cozy. And it is cozy, but it's also like really nice and really fancy. And I'm like, I really also enjoy, there's a new trend coming around where it's like regular apartment trends, where it's like, I got me a regular apartment. I got nothing too fancy, but I'm so
If you
grateful
notice
for
though,
it.
like all those, they never have a phone charging station at the end of the couch because the rest of us do.
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Or have the pile of cables somewhere on the counter in the kitchen because it depends
Yes.
on what device you're using.
Uh-huh.
You never see that in their pictures. I mean, you start
Right.
really looking at how you live your life versus what's being portrayed, and that you feel that somehow that you should compare yourself to that. And
Mhm.
really, like you said, step it back. And you know, I think actually, and I do want to give a shout out to one of our 13 Moons members, Theodora, who made the statement when we were in our Thursday night 13 Moon chat, that talking about her backyard. And she said, I didn't see beauty until I started looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that one really stuck with me, where I sat back and I was like, that's some wise words right there.
Right.
Where stop and look at what you do have. What you have is pretty cool. It's like you were pointing out.
I'm so sorry to
You
interrupt,
have-
Taryn. I forgot the greatest part about the magic part of my story about moving into the new place and gratitude and what gratitude can give you and how it can give it to you. And to also give a shout out to every single person in this Zoom, the multiple black hats we have in the chat right now. So I told the story about how, I moved, I left a relationship, moved with nothing. I didn't even have a bed. I was borrowing an air mattress when I moved. Okay. I did not have anything to my name when I moved, not even a bed. And I was grateful. I was so grateful. I didn't need it. I had an air mattress I was borrowing. I had a roof. I had food in my, I did not care. Well, one of our very special witches, Ash, flew out from where she's at to help me move. And the whole time, she saw me in my state of gratitude, sleeping on my futon, because I did have a futon. We alternated the air mattress and the futon. She actually, without my knowledge, put together a little list, an Amazon list, and shared it to the House of Witchcraft. We have a group chat. And I am not someone, I'm usually the person who makes the list for people. I'm the person who plans the surprises for people. I'm the one who does all of the things. And so to have it happen to me, first off, I was just like, oh my God, I don't care if it's only got a pen and paper on there. I'm so happy. These witches, people, and I'm now talking to you guys, YouTube, gratitude magic, it works. My whole house was furnished by the House of Witchcraft. There was things on that list that I didn't even think that I needed, but I did need. And the way that the house ran to, I'm not going to get emotional. The way that the house came to me to support me in that and paid it back, it was nothing but magic and beauty and friendship and something that I never thought was possible. And I was ready to just be happy with, no tables, no nothing, sitting on the floor, eating pizza with my hands because I didn't have silverware. I didn't have plates. I didn't have anything when I moved. But my state of gratitude and the amazing people within the house and the amazing friends that I had ended up surprising me in a way that now when I look around in my house, I see my nightstands. I think of the people. I use my seasonings. I think of the people. I use my cutlery. I think of every single person who put that the bed that was bought for me, because a bed was bought for me.
Wow.
And that's where, though, you put power into your words and you cap them that, this is the way forward. I'm in a healthy place. My bills are paid. I will work on a folding chair tomorrow.
Exactly.
but
Right.
you put that energy out there, and the universe has a way of, as you said, things getting put together to help out. And how it was so easy to do for somebody that had already was working hard and was grateful for what they had. I mean, it was like you deserved it. It was, you were taking big steps, scary steps, and I think, to even in any way be a part of that journey with someone, that's a really big thing. Go ahead,
And
sweetie.
she didn't ask for anything. She didn't ask for a bed.
Never.
She just said, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And what she needed came to her.
I bought a
And
dish
that's
towel
universe
from
has a
Magickal after
way.
all that.
Yeah, but you've got to have the courage to flip your own headset around and to, demand those boundaries, to demand respect of self, and to find that place of being grateful for who you are. You have to learn to like yourself. And
Yes.
it really learning to like yourself, I think, is something, I think a lot of times back to what we're talking about, why people wave in the crosswalk at cars versus people who don't wave. The one little article we read, I really was sitting there thinking about it. I bet the people who are waving like themselves.
All right, rules fast, and then we'll get back into this. But speaking of wave, I'll take this moment because the chat's been going off a little bit, and also to say thank you to everyone who's joining us for our live tonight to talk about gratitude magic and the science behind it. We first and foremost, I pronounce Ottawa right, which was very exciting. And then we have Mandy Moon who says, "Hey everyone, the moon is so beautiful tonight. It's so large over the lake with fog dancing over the water." That was just such a beautiful image because we do have a full moon tonight, but I wanted to bring that up. Let's see. We have Dalton in our chat saying, "Hey, glad he's here. We're glad to have you here, Dalton." We got Agatha saying comparison is the death of joy. Absolutely. Let's see. We have
That's really strong. I love that. Comparison is the death of joy. And
yep,
and
as we
that's
are
almost like a mantra that we should all write down and put on our mirror. And because it's an ongoing, it's not like you make the decision one day that I shall never be influenced by this again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's ongoing. You have to remind, refresh, renew, reinforce, reconnect. You are always going to be finding, and you want to learn to incorporate them into your daily habit in ways that it's not like you're doing anything but being you. And that was, back to the science of gratitude. It's when you learn to practice gratitude, and again, there were, the people who waved in the crossroad and the crosswalk at the car that stopped to let them go by. This person isn't looking down at their phone. This person isn't thinking about where they're going to be in 30 minutes from now. They're actually in the moment making a brief ever millisecond of a connection with another human being. All you're doing is acknowledging basically, hey, we coexist.
And
And
that's
how
powerful
that's
like when you're, and just to, on the other side of things, like when you're in the road, like road rage is such a common thing. Let's try some road gratitude. Be thankful that you had some good timing. Be thankful that traffic isn't too heavy. Be thankful that
road
someone let you
gratitude.
in. Like, just, just like you would
I
give that
like
wave to
that.
that person in the crosswalk, wave to the person who's letting you in.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. When they pass me, I just go, okay, have a good night.
Yeah.
Right.
Just back it off. Don't even get in those situations. If somebody needs to get in front that damn fast, sure, go ahead, man.
Right. You go for it, homie. You go for it.
Right. Whatever you're in a rush for, I hope you get to. I'm not.
I want to enjoy this song. Let me get out of your way. Like,
I like to say they're trying to get to heaven a lot quicker than me. And who am I to stop them from someone so determined in their goal? Who am I to stop them?
And you know, back being grateful for where you are in the moment, but back to that science of these micro connections and how truly important they are, because there's a whole brain science going on here with, like I said, that connection, that coexistence, that, you know, you're part of something bigger than the reason why sometimes you feel disconnected, you find slightly lonely. And no way am I saying that waving at people in Crossroads is a precursor to therapy or anything. I'm this isn't going to solve all your problems.
No, but it's good steps. It gets you in a mindset. So
but it's all these little things that add up to those moments of, I was talking with Jana before chat, and a storm had come in, and I went and stood outside, and the wind started.
We have a really good question in chat. We have a really good question.
Started swelling, and I felt the trees, and I felt that moment for a moment. I had that whole surge of, I am all powerful. And it was this really beautiful, amazing surge. And I grounded back out of it, stepped off, and that moment of gratitude of thank you for allowing me to experience that, type thing. I didn't have a sense that I'm going to go take this and rule the world or anything remotely like that. For me, it was just a really deep reaffirmation of a divine presence within myself.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And how beautiful it was. Okay, I'll get your, go ahead.
And I will also tease you in chat, because we are going to continue our discussion. This is all just previews for the discussion of gratitude magic. We're going to continue the discussion at 8:00 on our Zoom. So we're going to give a little, I want each of us to give like a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A sprinkle of an answer. But what's the difference between feeling gratitude and gratitude magic? So my little sprinkling of an answer before we get too much into it. Don't give away the goods yet, y'all. You gotta stay at 8 for the goods.
Keep it short. We're going to talk about
its intention. As magic folk, everything that we do, we can do magically if we put that magic intent. So you can feel grateful and be in gratitude, or you can use gratitude as magic. So that's my sprinkling. We'll get more into that in the chat.
Most definitely, the magic of thankfulness is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That's my answer, and I'll be quiet. Your turn, Tessera.
I was just gonna say, the intention is really key, and the feeling is a good starting point. And I'd say, feeling is the starting point. Magic is what you do with that feeling.
Ooh, that was good.
I like that.
Yeah. All right, Rosita, you got a short and sweet for us, mamas? I know you got a.
No, I have a lot to say without fixing anything.
We can also just say
so here it is. One sentence. Standing in my gratitude, I feel connected to the divine, and I know that anything is possible.
Yes. Okay. I like that difference between gratitude, magic, and feeling gratitude. Yes. Like we said, for a deeper discussion, we would love for everyone. It looks like we have someone in the chat, Scott, chatting with Dalton, who was in our Zoom in October, who this is, I think, his second time joining us. So hello, Scott. We hope to see you over in our Zoom when we go more into this. But yeah, it's so easy to forget gratitude, to forget the human connection. When I was out in California, I ran a nonprofit for homeless individuals. And we had a lot of meetings where we would include and invite homeless individuals, because how can we speak on your troubles if we don't know your troubles? And one of the things that stuck with me was one individual said to me, he's like, you don't know how hard it is to get people to acknowledge me on the street as a human being with something as simple as eye contact. So many times people think that my hand's just going to be out there, and don't get me wrong, my hand needs to be out there. But sometimes I just want to feel like a normal human being who gets just acknowledged by someone on the streets. And so I've tried to make it a very big effort of, even if I can't do something to support them, keeping myself safe, mind you. If I see a homeless individual, I try to make eye contact, smile, wave a little bit, kind of like the pedestrian wave that we were talking about when you're passing the street. Life is so chaotic. Life is always hostile. Do I want to add to that hostility, or do I want to try to emulate some kind of happiness, gratitude, something in this awful world that we're living in, but it's not always so bad. There is good in this world too. We're just overwhelmed by the bad. We have to remember to foster.
Yeah, that's so 10% has a really loud voice. The rest of us are at work trying to make a living. It's how that's how I feel some days where I'm just like, dude, these people have nothing but time. I mean, don't you have a life to live? But again, these small acts of connecting, these little, the butterfly effect, we reference it as cookie magic. Because, when you walk into any house, kitchen, room, and they've got fresh baked cookies, that the smell alone has got some sort of weird healing magic going on to it. You're just like, ooh, cookies. It just smells good. There's something, it just smells good on a level that, gets you on the inside. We have another fur baby here.
Sorry.
Things I'm grateful for.
Apologize about that.
I'm a terrible dog owner. I cannot own a dog. So watching y'all's dogs, I love it. Things we're grateful for.
Yes. He's just smelling my plate over there, I'm thinking.
Oh, things he's grateful for.
Yes.
No, but especially, and actually another joke that Taryn and I were talking about that I just remembered before the chat when we were talking about this chat was it's very ironic. So the House of Witchcraft is a gray practice where we welcome light, dark, and gray witches. We just tend to get a lot of the dark witches that come to us. It just is, we swear we're open to all, but it's just where they
Because we listen and we don't judge.
Yes.
I'm like, we
Sorry,
welcome
it just
all.
made me think of that. So.
But what's really
Somehow
funny
I
is
agree with you.
dark
It's
witches
like all the
tend to be the most from my perspective anyway,
it's a
we try to live in the most gratitude because in my opinion, we live so much of our practice within the dark magic and that's not bad. That's a whole other TED talk, but you know what I mean? But I think that does equal out. And if you walk up to a dark witch, you may actually find the most optimistic person you've ever met in your life. Try and go to a dark witch with a problem. They gonna come up with 19 different ways how we can fix this. It's gonna be great. Only 1 out of 19 will be a curse, and that will probably be a joke because again, we're too lazy for it actually. But I feel like dark witches.
Well, just to reiterate what you're saying, like the dark witches, I feel like, yeah, it's like very positive, very happy-go-lucky until you cross them, and then that's when stuff goes,
It's like
stormy.
if you're gonna make
But
us
like,
mad, we will act mad. But you gotta push.
right, like the first dark witch I ever met, beautiful priestess of the Morrigan, and like she would give you the shirt off of her back, but if you messed with her family, ooh.
RIP.
See you in the next life.
that's we walk in balance.
Right?
Yes,
Right.
that was my point.
Right.
And that which heals also harms.
You gotta know both.
And that we understand that there's a time and place for both. All right, if I choose to go to the side of baneful magic, I'm doing it because I have a reason. I'm doing it because I thought about it. I deep dark considerations went through my brain.
Yeah, you had to work really hard to get me out of that state of gratitude.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
that
Then I'm gonna be
deep
grateful
down,
to
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yes. It's emotionally
Usually-
hard too.
And
Right.
it's like you only resort to that if it's like if you keep trying to be positive and change things and that's just not working, then it's like, all right, time to fight fire with fire. But for the most part,
Well, our base rule.
my little gratitude mantra is, I am too blessed to be stressed. Like most of my problems are first world problems. So I'm too blessed to be stressed. Just
And
we're
our
gonna
base
stick with
rule
that.
is you have to
I
do
love
everything
that.
you can mundanely before you go to it, because otherwise the universe is just going to look at you and call you lazy and not going to give you what you want because you got to do everything possible.
And I think what the article made
data.
some comment about, always talking about, oh my God, I can never get into traffic. Hey, flip it around. Oh my God, I drive in the city with a lot of jerks.
Yeah.
All right, why are you putting the traffic on you?
Mm-hmm.
Back
Yep.
to the words, have power. Listen to how you're saying things. You're setting it up to happen. And we
Well,
don't
it's
Mm-hmm.
not
even
just like in
sometimes
traffic. It's
hear
like
some
my
of the things we
I get on my
say.
husband about this a lot, about like the whole, because we were talking about, words have power, and he's always like, oh, I never get a good parking spot, or oh, I always, run into this thing, or oh, I always drop it. I'm like, well, stop saying that. Just be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, next time I'm not going to drop this. Next time I'm going to, carry it successfully,
Ooh, damn, as a
whatever it
woman, I
is.
feel that.
Do you
Ooh.
know that I have my husband participating in a parking genie?
I'm not surprised, but please, well, I'm going to be listening, but I'm going to run off to go pee. But please tell this story because I need to hear this.
But that we're going to get a good parking space when we go places and we get out and do the whole thank you, parking genie, you're so good. And Joe even says it. I mean, granted, we've been together like 34 years. It's taken me quite a while for him to not only believe, but to help manifest the energy so that we get good parking spaces. Uh, and we really do get good parking spaces. So I think it's working, you know, or when, like, what type of magic do you do? And I'm like, well, I feed this little entity in my car that we've named Parking Genie.
Right.
And it's for us, it's about, but that we're grateful, because we'll pull up and I'll be like, ooh, Parking Genie, we love you, doing all these little grateful things, so happy. Occasionally, Parking Genie does take a day off, and I don't hold him against him. Park where I can, get out and walk. And I'm grateful for the hell that I freaking have a car so I can walk some to the parking, to
And
the
that you
shop.
can walk and that we can move.
Right. So that I can go shopping, back to, instead of bitching about, I always get far away parking spaces, hey, I get to see it, stretch my legs a little bit, flip it around,
Mhm.
flip your energies. And when you start and you're from that place of gratitude, you're open, you're present in the world around you, is when those magical, mystical experiences they occur and you're aware of it and you can participate in it.
And I also want to make it known for everyone who's also, all of what we're saying is so true. And it sounds so easy for us to get online and say these things. But I want to also let you know that every single one of us here and every single one of us in the chat has had those moments where you're cussing into your cup going, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. Gratitude is hard. We make it sound so easy to just sit here and say, be grateful, be grateful. But we've also all been sitting there in traffic going, I'm 10 minutes late. And why won't this woman go on a yellow when it was clearly her chance to go? Those moments are going to happen. And have grace for yourself when you have to fight to be grateful. And again, type A Dana does not like giving things up to the universe, but it's worth it. Yeah, Miss Rosina?
Yeah. So what I've noticed is when I'm like, oh my God, I'm having the crappy day, everything is going wrong. And someone will say, how you doing? I'm like, ah, rah, rah. And they'll go, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, no. Hey, this just makes my good days better. And when you
Yes,
have
ma'am.
a bad day, things are bad, it helps you appreciate when things are good. If everything was
That's
good
the
all the
truth.
time, we might
How
not
do you
even
know?
realize what we need.
Well, I love what Tessa said earlier about you have to fight for gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't
Be
just
aware.
happen. You're absolutely right, Gina. We were talking about, we're all sitting here talking about, hey, we do this with no problem. No, we have problems.
Right.
I almost cried
Uh,
twice today over technology issues and even trying to get this Zoom to open. And I didn't even
we,
cry.
we all each individually and as a group deal with plethora of problems.
So not a sponsored shout out, but I think we all appreciate the spiritual AF Oracle deck.
Yes.
And the other day I pulled one out, and I think it was something along the lines of it's It's not, it was something about like, you're not responsible for the wound that you received, but you are responsible for healing it. Something along
Mhm.
those lines. Um, and I was like, we're responsible for healing. Maybe I don't want to heal
Yep.
my wound today. I don't know.
I'll be mad.
And you're allowed.
Yeah,
That's a good choice too. I'll deal with it tomorrow. I'm gonna enjoy the misery today.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
do
Yep.
love that deck. I think it's great. She nailed it. I like you. I have the deck in there. I'll pull a card and it always seems to be spot on. Sometimes it's a little raw, and I'm just like, well, I'm not. What do we have to deal with
I don't want to
that?
deal with that today.
And then other
You
days you
know,
pull the
and
universe as
we
your sugar daddy, and you know it's going to be a good day.
and it is where if we really sit and contemplate it all and put it all together, we can all see that we have far more good days than we have bad days. We've learned to create better days, and when we
Right.
are having bad days, we've learned to walk in balance with them. Sometimes to almost find the humor in it. Instead of spinning yourself upset, you just learn to really laugh at yourself over the absurdity of the situation.
Mhm.
Where too blessed to be stressed. I have first world
Love that.
problems and might not, yeah, keeping it realistic here, people. All right,
Mhm.
yes, we all have things, we have battles that we deal with. All right. And at the same time, we have so many other things that we have to grab a hold of and appreciate, and how
Yeah.
we can put those around us, and how we can also work them into physical spaces
Mhm.
where,
Yeah, I love
talk,
Scott put in the comments. He said that his phrase is "I'm grateful to the universe, divine, and so on." And I actually hope that that is the exact quote because I love that because there are many things that we if you just want to hit the list, you could go one by one, but I love the and so on for sure. And then just so that it goes back on some of the other comments that we were talking about, but I don't want to let it slip because I really do like it when we were talking about cursing and how you got to make us mad. Draven Michael says, you take the time to weigh in the scales. That is something that the dark people don't think about with gray witches. We have mastered light and that's a, I'm not, it's a joke. We've mastered light and dark and we're gray because of it. We know how to manage the scales. And I love that. And he also said, and it has to be a lot to make it worth the repercussions, which is just absolutely true. And then I do love when we were talking about managing our stress, Scott said no more truck driving for him. Do what you got to do to manage your Scott stress, okay? If driving trucks makes you cuss at traffic, maybe we don't want to drive trucks no more. That's how we can choose to be grateful. You can choose you ain't got to drive those trucks no more, Scott.
and gratitude's a lot like happiness. It's something that we have to create.
Mhm.
It doesn't just happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking ways that you can micro connect, you can be a part of your community, you can feel more connected to your surroundings. As simple as telling the cashier at the local grocery store that you go to all the time, thank you, you're doing a good job.
As an ex-barista, I can tell you that literally the moments when, so I was a barista out in California at Starbucks at one of the busiest locations in our town, and I wept more often than not at that job. I will just say it now. But the times that like meant so much was when the customers would acknowledge that like they see me going crazy on bar, how busy it is. And when I hand them their drink after they've waited 15 goddamn minutes, god darn minutes for a latte, and they still manage to like lock eyes with me and be like, hey, thank you for working so hard. I see you're really busy. It's trust me, the customer service people, you're getting a free latte next time you come in. I will recognize your face and you're getting it. And that's going to
But
be the gratitude magic that pays it forward to you in the end.
you've just shifted that person's energy. You don't know how, when they go out in the world, when they interact with other people, they don't shift their energy too. You've created a ripple effect
Mm-hmm.
where we want to do something good for the world around us, and right now, like I was saying earlier, we live in a very divisive state. and how we handle that. Our communities are being ripped apart. We have our minority populations are fearful. What do we do? How do I use the white, privilege that I have that allows me to walk into any store? I don't get profiled. I'm a white old lady. What can I do? Because I think a lot of times we have a sense of helplessness, and we have to remember it's the little things that can have big change. Wherever you're out in your community doing your thing, lock eyes, wave when you're in the crosswalk and somebody
Oh,
slowed the car down. You have just shifted the entire universe.
I actually wanted to bring up something on the topic of pedestrian wave gratitude, the whole article that Taryn sent me, that I have noticed been going on. I don't know if this is like a trend that's going around, because I did actually see something about it on TikTok, but something that I am very grateful for. Um, but so I am a single small woman. Y'all don't know I'm from LA and I can fight, but I'm this small woman, and I am an independent person who has to battle that how independent can I be while still being safe as a single woman? And one of the things, I enjoy going on walks all the time, and I now by myself, so I'm going on walks by myself. And I have to be hyper alert. You can only wear one headphone. You have to know who's walking behind you, who's walking ahead of you, who's on the other side. And I've actually had it happen twice to me this past week, which was why I like noticed it, where I'm walking and there is a man who will be walking on the same side of the street, but coming towards where you get what I'm saying. But they have both times the individual made a point to, like, we were getting to a close edge, to stop walking, to take a step into the sidewalk or out of the sidewalk and make themselves appear friendly and being like, you go, ma'am, it's okay. And I like actively remember both times that it happened. I like looked at this man and I'm like, thank you. Like, that is something that you are making yourself unthreatening. You are making yourself, oh, the other person in this situation, and allowing me to have my space. They took a whole 2 steps back. This one guy walked into snow at one point. I did kind of feel bad because he like went out of the sidewalk to walk into snow to make me feel good. But at the same time, I'm very grateful for that. I've seen it going around on TikTok, the trends of like, hey guys, on walks, like be kind to women in general. So I don't know if it's a trend thing happening. I don't know. But as a single woman who
Good
enjoys going
trend.
on walks, I appreciate it. And it's very kind for these individuals who haven't done anything wrong to me, haven't presented themselves in any bad way, but to acknowledge a certain level of privilege and to say, no, I'm going to go out of my way to make this other human, this stranger, this person I don't know, comfortable. And I think that that's beautiful. And however, we can also emulate that into our own daily lives, whether it's waving at the car at the crosswalk or looking at the homeless person or saying thank you to the cashier. I feel like these small acts of gratitude are so big because it meant a lot. Those two men, I will remember during my walks that those two men did that. And that was really special to me.
That back to acknowledging we coexist. I don't live in a hostile environment. I live in a coexisting environment. And I
Well,
need to
and that just
coexist. And
reminds me, it just reminds me of that question about like the difference between gratitude and gratitude magic. It's, like those two guys that Dana passed weren't necessarily magic, but they were intentionally, expressing their energy and, so that their energy could be seen for what it was and not just be, assumed. And so it's like, it's that being able to project your energy and communicate your intentions with someone else and let them know that, hey, this is a safe space. You don't have to worry about me. Um, like
Right.
that's a very big thing because we, in the world that we live in, we are always on guard. It doesn't matter who you are, but especially, if you are in a vulnerable position, you're going to be hyper vigilant, and just having that little bit of reassurance of, hey, you're good. I got you. That's all anyone really needs.
and that's back where we're talking about the 10% wants to try to make us believe we live in a hostile environment.
Mm-hmm.
We don't.
Mm.
We coexist with people, and we need to learn to connect. And we connect in these micro ways that reassure both of us that give
Mhm.
both of us, as you're saying, your moment, like you're talking, tell your cashier. I know, I go to the same grocery store. Somehow they have a shift. I see the same cashiers you know, and I always try to make sure, that say something nice to them type thing. Uh, and I can tell that they appreciate it. It's like you're saying, they don't hear that often enough.
Mhm.
And just how we interact, even, also I'm giving away chicken eggs. If you're my delivery driver, please make sure to pick them up on the way out. Um, we've had quite a few deliveries, and all of my girlfriends, I don't know, 'tis the season to lay eggs, is all I'm saying. All
Uh,
right. Okay. I have 12 girlfriends, and then I have Jeff, my rooster. Uh,
It
but
means chickens by girlfriends for those who don't speak Terran. That means chickens. Terran,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
I don't
My hens, my
right.
chickens
heads. I'm
are
sorry.
laying eggs every day, and I
Terran's
have
not
an
a madam.
excess. So I have started giving them to the delivery drivers because between my husband and I, have quite a few deliveries coming in, and people have really appreciated the eggs.
Have you
Uh,
seen the price of eggs lately, Terran? You're probably the coolest person on the block right now.
where
Just
I'm,
saying.
and it makes me feel good that I'm in a position and I'm able to do that.
Mm-hmm. I love what Talenex put in the chat for YouTube. She said, "We radiate our frequency 15 feet around us." And I like that concept because it's about being aware and how are you going to connect with the people 15 feet around you? How are you going to express your magic? How are you going to express your energy? I love that.
You know what else? Thank you cards are really nice. I put a thank you card in the mailbox for during when the shutdown was happening for the post person. And I just said thank you for working and delivering my mail. You know?
Oh,
Yeah, thank you cards are really
We,
nice too.
yeah,
yeah.
thank you cards are a way. We've lost some of that
Mhm.
civility that we had. You would go to somebody's house and then you would send them a thank you card.
Hey, when I
That
go to
never occurs to us.
I sent you all thank you cards. You all got or you should have gotten my thank you cards because I do believe in. And I have a couple I sent out. Y'all are going to see in the mail. I sent out Christmas cards because again, it's these little ways of communication or connection, not
And
communication. That's a triple Libra in me. I
special
can't help but
about
say it.
getting in the mail.
Connection.
And again, those micro connections, and as you're doing your cards and preparing it, that state of gratitude, you're putting yourself in that space, and you're seeing the beauty in the world. You're choosing to see that. And not only that, you're choosing to elevate it, to expand it, to pass it on. And that's why
Also,
it's
we have Aqua Lore in the chat saying you could send stickers to your friends to make them happy because she just sent me a handful of stickers and I love them so much. And this one is my current favorite. It's so pretty. Look at it.
too cute. Okay, there, see
We
a
do. I am
sticker.
going to give a 5-minute warning though, and I'm going to give my little spiel before
A
we officially.
sticker. I love
We're going
that.
in 5 minutes, we're going to end our YouTube live and we are going to move over to our Zoom link where we're going to continue the discussion tonight on gratitude magic. You can find that Zoom link by going to the House of Witchcraft YouTube page under posts is where I'm 99.9% sure you can find the posts, but it has the link in there. I do want to say for anyone on our email list, speaking of gratitude and being grateful, I'm very grateful Taryn deals with me. I have sent you all the wrong link if you're on our email list, and I have also reached the max in emails I'm allowed to send. So please go to if you're on our email subscribe list, please don't go to that link. Please go to our YouTube channel under posts. But I do promise you, I have a separate laptop up where if you go to that link, I'm going to find you and I'm going to redirect you. So with that, I'm going to say I'm very grateful for Taryn and for
Good job.
and the 3 different times I cried today trying to get this Zoom room open.
Yeah, you just get
Good
back,
fix, though.
back
Good job, Dana.
back to first
Thanks.
world problems. Let's stress that. Just
Cried
grateful that
a little
we're
bit.
able to have a community, how grateful I am for the YouTube community, the support that I've gotten over the years, the channel, and you know, I do really like connecting and you know, listening to what we're talking about tonight. I was like, wow, now I really do want to like make a little video talking about things that are in my brain.
Yes, ma'am. Do it. I'm trying to
And
do
some
anything.
of the things that you know, like I'm doing. And so hopefully I promise. I am currently busy working in my renovations. I am still caulking.
But you're grateful that you have a barn to renovate, right, Taryn?
Oh yeah, that's
right.
really, yeah, back
And
to
then you can
the,
afford the Alexes and fix everything up.
real
All your
world, right,
tubes.
right. I'm like, you know, I've got 2 rentals on site, my own beautiful place, a beautiful barn. Yeah, let me tell you how bad my life is. Where
And
I'm
how
just
hard
like,
you've worked to get there, though, too. I mean, yeah, you know,
yes,
it
this
wasn't all
is
just handed to you. You did a lot of work. You've
30
put in a
years
lot.
in the making to make it happen. We're there, and
Right.
I am grateful. I do. I have moments where I walk across property. I have 5 acres, and I just breathe it in, and grateful that
Grateful, grateful, grateful.
yeah, it's my property. It's beautiful. I'm the caretaker, and how blessed I am. Back to that grateful gratitude place, you know. And no, things are not going according to plan, you know, and rolling with it, you know, and it's still happening. You know, my own stories of how it happened differently than what we planned it.
That's part of
Uh,
life. And learning to, like you said, learning to
yeah,
roll with it and just be grateful for what you did manifest and what is coming your way.
right, right. You know, I'm living the dream. I'm the witch that lives down the dirt road on 5 acres next to a graveyard. What more could you want? And
All right.
25
I feel that
minutes
we're
from
gonna get
downtown Charleston.
ready to end soon.
So you
I
can
already have
still do
people
those
signed in.
good buffets that Tesseract takes us to.
Yes.
All right.
All right. We're going to say goodnight. Thank you all for joining us on this live. Thank each of you, Rosina, Dana, Tesseract, for the conversation. We are going to continue that over in Zoom for those that would like to join us.
And those who are going to the wrong chat, like Scott Altman, you are in the wrong chat. If you're in our live right now, Scott, I have the room open and I'm letting you know.
Okay, you're the host.
Yes.
You have to stop YouTube.
Oh, how do I do that? Oh, that's
Look
exciting.
up on the
There you
right
go.
side
Oh,
where
I
it
see it.
says,
I see it. All right, we'll press the button. Bye, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we can't wait to see you over in our Zoom. And if not, the first Thursday of the month is when we will see you, which is going to be January 1st. That's New Year's. We'll see y'all
Oh, wow.
then. Have a great
ooh, we need to be drinking us some champagne.